Right, a Division 2 build. I haven't done this for ages. This seems quite exciting. So the reason why I think this build is going to be really good for you, it's because I think it's the one you've been looking for. Does damage, survivability, and although like it's nothing about the skills whatsoever, it's not like the useful enough because they're using the technician. So oh, wrong button. Right, okay. So technician is super, super, super important on this one because this is the thing that's going to tie everything together to give you damage. So by putting the technician on, it unlocks the laser pointer on assault rifles and this shotgun. So it's really, really important. So when you go in here, the underbarrel, this one here where it says linked laser pointer. So basically, as soon as you aim at someone, shoot someone, it's going to class that they're pulsed. So any talent that you have now that is against a pulsed enemy, that's where you're going to get all your damage from. So you don't have to stack too much weapon damage to actually do a lot of weapon damage. Um, this one I only got, so I need to hunt on this. So you're looking for, standard shotgun damage, preferably damage out of cover, and then instead of pumped up, you'd want flatline here. So this is just my placeholder because I need to go grind. But that would be the idea of it, just to make sure you've got that linked laser pointer. And same again. So this one is also brilliant. So the reason why this one is so good is because it comes with perfect flatline. So it gives you 20% damage to pulsed enemies. So you don't have to do anything as long as you've got the laser pointer on from using the technician. By shooting at someone, you get 20% extra weapon damage without doing anything because they're always going to be pulsed as long as you're shooting at someone. So the idea of this then is that you need 4 pieces of this Heartbreaker set. Um, and why that is because if you look over there at the 4 plus pieces, it says here, you can forget the first bit because headshots, it doesn't matter about that because you've got the technician on. Just aiming at someone is going to give you the pulse. So weapon hits on pulsed enemies add a stack of 1% bonus armor and 1% damage. So they're always going to be pulsed because you've got your laser on. And basically that says as long as you're hitting someone, every time you hit them, you're going to get plus 1% bonus armor and plus 1% extra damage. So just by shooting at them, you're creating armor and you're creating damage, and they're always going to be pulsed because of the laser. So really good survivability, really good damage, and it's not difficult to proc because all you have to do is pretty much shoot at somebody. So that's why I think it's good. Also, what I found, I've done a lot of testing, but I think this will be good for legendary because it does the best against the hardest enemies, like the warhounds, the elites, because they take a lot of damage. The more you shoot and hit people, the more bonus armor and more bonus damage that you get. So the red ones, if you kill them really quickly, you don't really stack much of the damage and the armor. So the fact that everyone is really tough on legendary, you're going to be constantly stacking extra armor and extra damage. So the backpack's really important. You definitely want Heartbreaker as your backpack because it has this talent called Cold. So that gives you the increase of the bonus armor gained from Heartstopper. So instead of getting 1% every time you hit someone, you're getting 2%, which is like massive when you start landing shots. So that goes back to why you use these weapons. So because it's a shotgun, it is firing out a number of bullets at the same time, and each one of those bullets is going to create a stack. And this thing fires really fast. So basically, what you do is you build up your stack, which it'll show us like where your armor bar is. It'll start appearing blue dots because that's classed as bonus armor, but also you can gauge. So if you've got bonus blue armor, you're also getting bonus weapon damage. So you use this thing to shoot enemies. You'll see the blue bar growing, and the bigger that grows, the more damage that you do. That's why this is brilliant. There is the named rock and roller as well, which I think comes with a bigger magazine capacity. But it's exactly the same weapon, so a bit of grinding to be done there. But that's why they're important. You've asked them, there's lots of different ways to run this, depending on if you want to go absolutely all in like damage or if you want to kind of go survivability. At the minute, I'm about half and half because I imagine that you're going to be probably wanting to do more damage than be like more tanky, and it's really really flexible. What I would say is I was running with the other piece that it focuses on the spotter talent. I don't know if I've still got one set up here because I did. I was using something different. So this one. Yeah, so this is the one that I was using. So it's not the named one, so I don't get like the next level up of spotter. There's one I think it gives you like the named piece that I was telling you to look for gives you 20% weapon and skill damage. So again, the reason why this would be a really good option is because it's all about pulsed enemies, and because all you have to do is aim and shoot at somebody because of the technician laser, you'd be getting an extra 15% to everyone you shoot at. So you could go this way because this comes with like one piece gives you 5% total ammo, which is good, and then you're going to get that extra weapon damage and skill damage to anyone that you're shooting at. So it's pretty good. The only other advantage, though, of running the Heartbreaker, so if I go right back up to the top, and the Talent, so this increases max stacks for Heartstopper from 50 to 100. So without this, you can stack that 1% and 2% that you get from the talent. So that, what I mean by that is you're going to get 1% weapon damage for every bullet that lands, and you're getting 2% because of the backpack armor, and it stacks up to 50. So 50 is the max. But if you put this on, it means that you can go up to 100. So you effectively nearly like quadrupling your armor. So even though the base armor on this is 1.5, if you had completely maxed all of your shots to build up your stacks, it'll make more sense when I explain this. So if you literally max out all of your bonus armor to give you the bonus weapon damage, you're going to be at, what's that, 1.5, 3, 4. You're going to be like about 4 million with this absolutely fully stacked. So very, very tanky. And at the same time as you're building armor, you're also building more weapon damage. So that's probably where your decision is. So you can quite easily roll more into damage here, and you will end up with less armor. You'll still be tanky, but once you start landing the stacks to build the bonus armor up, the more armor you've got on as a base level, the bigger the number's going to go. So that's just going to be dependent on trial and error. And I think you probably have to ask me a few questions about that just to fully explain that again. But I will try and kind of go over it. So the 4-piece means that every time you land a bullet, whatever your base damage and armor is, you're going to get 1% extra bonus armor, and you're going to get 1% weapon damage because you're already pulsing them from having the technician skill on. So by having 4 pieces on, you get 1% armor, 1% weapon damage. With the backpack then, for the armor, you're getting 2%. So you're getting 1% for every bullet for weapon damage and 2% extra bonus armor every time you land a bullet. So that's going to stack up. So then when you look at the chest, so the Heartstopper says the max that you can get is 50 stacks. So by the time you've stacked 50 bullets up, then that's going to be the max that you can get. So by putting the chest piece on, that doubles again. So you, if you don't use the chest, you're just getting double the base of everything. If you use the chest and the backpack, then you're almost like quadrupling what you can achieve from your base scores. So that's probably the easiest way. The other pieces don't matter too much. These knee pads, it's rifle damage, which doesn't count, but the damage to targets of cover is, well, how do you say this? It's not additive, it's multiplicative. multiplicative, so it multiplies. So the extra damage that you get from using these knee pads is massive as long as you're shooting someone who's not in cover, which a lot of the time they're not. So I still think that if you're looking for damage, this is a very good way to go. Um, there's different options here. What I do think is good if you're going for damage, you're going to be stacking crit chance and crit damage wherever possible as like your attributes. So this already comes with crit chance, crit damage, weapon damage, and then the perks. So when you hit, this is why I like this. It's not, you don't have to kill anyone. It's like if you hit an enemy, so if you're either close up or far away, the whole team gets an extra boost to their damage. So I think with us all playing, and like when Jeremy's kind of healing us all with his mega heals, and then you're starting to shoot people, we're going to have the heals and the damage, and this just sits really well with stacking up the crit chance and damage on the build. The rest are pretty much as per the skills. So I'm running this with my turret and striker drone because it's what I've played with now for about the last 3 years. So I'm very comfortable about moving around. Um, the turret is always good. I feel like it works as a decoy, does a bit of damage, and the striker drone in this instance, I find pushes people out of cover so you can get that bonus damage out of cover. So these work really well for me. I'm just comfortable using them. You could quite easily use a shield, which again makes you tankier again. And then the decoy works really well, where you put that down, and while they're shooting them, you can build your stacks up, and then by the time they turn around to fire at you, you've already got your max damage and max armor. So I found that worked really well. You can use the foam. So someone stood there and they're trying to get out, and you building your stacks up again while you're shooting at them. So that worked really well. There's a lot of trial and error. I think for the way that you probably play, um, and when we get onto the legendaries, I would say probably the best way to go about that would be to have the reviver because I'd say you're probably going to roll more aggressive on this. So if you do get caught out, you can pick yourself up, and by that time, then Jeremy will be able to chuck some heals down, and you'll be able to stack your massive amount of armor again. So it could be shield, reviver, possibly. I don't know. You'll have to play around with it and see what works best for you there. But that's kind of the breakdown. There's still like a lot I need to do practicing, but the theory of it is really strong. Basically, you shoot at people, you get more damage, and you get armor. And if you have the chest and the backpack on, you're almost like quadrupling all the benefits. The mask then gives everyone crit chance and does more damage. These weapons are really important. Like see, it's the laser pointer underneath that's the most important, and you can only get that if you have the technician build on. So as long as you've got this on, you're getting like an extra 15% base just by aiming and shooting at someone. So as you can see here, I have 2 reds, 4 blues. I'm going to keep it that way for a little bit. I have a feeling that I might go tankier if you probably go more aggressive. Um, and what you're looking for then is, so obviously either armor or weapon damage, whatever you decide to go for the main role. And then on the attributes, it'll be crit chance and crit damage. Now, I by default have armor regen on here. It's not much, but I do find that when I'm getting overpowered, I can sit there and I can just see my armor just slowly ticking back up. So that's not a bad shout as well. Like I said, I've got to get all these rolled. But that would be a good roll there. You've got really good armor, really good crit chance. All your the mods within them. Then I've crit chance and crit damage. So if I was just to go through my stats here, the 40% is the cap for crit chance, so I'm actually nearly there. And then by the time I get the boost from the mask, I'm probably nearly at the cap for crit chance. I could do with a bit more damage, so I've got to do a little bit more hunting for some mods and stuff. But in general, it's not too bad. So when you're looking for pieces, I'll see if when you get to the map, you probably already know this, but if you press up, it shows you, oh, there we go. It shows you where a targeted loot is, and you can see over there that that's where the Heartbreaker is. So all I would do is fast travel over here. Wow, this really is the good old days. So let's have a look. I've got level 4 control point there. So I'm going to play this quite aggressive just to kind of try and explain the build a little bit because I don't have an awful lot of time.
Rogue agent detected.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that'll be a good test. Do I have to go over to the question? I don't know what I have to do. Do I go what? Oh, there's a load of question marks. So. All right, I'm going to stick to my mission because I'm still just trying to show you what I would do. And if we bump into him, happy days. Okay. All right. So there's a guy up there. So watch my armor bar. That's the main thing. So the white dots are your armor bar in the middle of the screen there. The orange bar is your health. So if I put my shotgun on, let's get up a bit higher. See that blue up here in there? That's the bonus armor. So the more you have that of that on, the more armor you have. Good. And the more damage you're going to be able to take. Right. So you can see getting bigger and bigger there. That means that I'm getting bonus armor, and every time that kind of gets bigger, I'm also doing more damage. Right. So having explained that, let's whoop some at. So next thing is, you never want to throw your turret close to where you're going to be fighting. So I'm going to go up here. Call in some friendlies. Here we go. So what's that blue? So you see all that blue now? That's bonus armor now I have and bonus damage. Alright, so as soon as you've got your bonus armor and damage built up, you can absolutely rip through people. And I've just made the mistake of just putting the turret down next to me. Oh, I didn't mean to climb the ladder.
Agent down. Agent killed.
So anyway, there's kind of a slightly too aggressive way of playing it, but you can kind of see there where you stack it up. So I've got a little bit of work to do on it, but what have we got? 10 minutes. One sec. Let's see if we can get through it. I'll play it a little bit better because I'm already halfway through that one. Let's just go for giggles. So if I was to rock a shield, I'd be going Crusader. I suppose still like my assault.
Hostile control point identified.
So you can see straight away, shield is way more survivable if you're just running around and shooting them in the face. And even if you're watching the armor bar, when I'm going up against the warhounds or the stronger things, it just means that I'm able to get the stacks up quicker in my weapons. So that's why I think on the legendaries it'll be pretty solid. So when I just said I'm going to play a little bit more sensible now, put the shield on, I'm probably not. But we'll see how we get on. Okay, so it's pretty good for building the stacks up. So now I've got my big stacks on, I'm going to do more damage. So it's just keep an eye on that armor bar, it's all blue. I hope if I reload it. a little bit. Reload. So you can see they're already picking up. Ooh, crit chance. I will take that one.
Can't shoot him if I can't see him. There.
Just one over here. So it's a pretty good chest piece there. So again, you can see I've only got one little bit of blue, now I've got none, so I've got to build my stacks back up. And all I do is shoot people to get my stacks.
Incoming hostiles detected. Hostile broadcast detected. Hostile broadcast picked up. Heavily armored hostile detected.
Ta-da! So you can see I wasn't being too careful there, and that was level 4 heroic. And it wasn't too much of a sweat. Obviously, I had to be a little bit more careful than the first time when I went up top. But yeah, so what's it got there? Max, armor regen. So my mask, I'm using KOS, so I don't need that one. I need to sort my gear out to get rid of all that stuff. So I definitely don't need that. Don't need that. Another mask. What's the stats on it?
Supply room access unlocked.
Health. just going to see if I can quickly find some pieces that have particular things on that I think will be good for you. Right, supply room. How do I get to supply room? Oh, can't do it without an armor kit. Right, let's see what we've got here. It's got some knee pads that I don't really need because I'm using Overlord. So
Hostile broadcast detected.
don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. I will take that blueprint now. So everything else I don't need. Alright, so I didn't do great with the loot drops there, but hopefully you'll be a little bit luckier than me because I didn't get a chest or a backpack. But you can see how effective it is. So, like I say, I'm in the middle now. Mine is more tanky than it is based around weapon damage. So you could easily ramp up the weapon damage that I was putting out there, and you'd still be able to survive. I put the shield on there. You could see like you can run around. It's not like I was hiding in the corner, not getting into the fight. Um, Lots of different ways that you can play it. I just think that when you get used to it and you get the balance of it right, I think the fact that you're stacking up and you're building armor by shooting and doing more damage, I just think it'll suit the way you play. But anyway, I
Hostile
hope that
broadcast
explains
picked
it.
up.
I'll leave it there and I will talk to you later.